Things are going to change in the next 90 days, and I'm going to try to warn you in this video, okay? I want to wake you up to this important fact. Matter of fact, I think it's going to probably happen even before 90 days. I've kind of tacked on an extra 30 days there because I want to be sure it lands somewhere into this prediction, okay? So I want you to be ready for what is about to come. Now, what is about to come? Well, I will tell you right after you drop down there and hit a like on this video. Why? Well, because it tells me you enjoy the content, and it also tells me you're supporting all the work I put into bringing you high quality crypto daily content. And while you're down there, of course, hit that subscribe button so you can achieve your crypto goals. So what is it I'm talking about? Well, it's the next move to the upside. It is going to be monumental, and I've got a warning on here because I feel like a lot of people aren't ready for this, and if they are ready, maybe they're not really executing as best as they could with the current situation we're in. Now, I'm going to go over some of the reasons that I believe this is about to come within the next 90 days, and also I want to touch on some of the catalysts, and then, of course, how you could actually benefit from it. But yes, every single cycle at this particular point in time, it's called the banana zone, because we pretty much just go parabolic, and it's like a giant sort of, I guess, J shape, if you will. We kind of just go parabolic from here, okay? Now, I have a few indicators as to tell me that this is about to happen. A similar indicator I've spoken about many times before is this indicator called a systematic way of investing in crypto. Nice roll off the tongue indicator name, okay? Basically, it's one that I've made myself in the past, but I found this to be really, really intuitive, so I'm going to be using this from now on, where this guy created a chart that overlays a few different things, right? Bitcoin dominance, altcoin market cap, so on and so forth. And we can see here this green kind of line represents the altcoin market, and it's actually in the green zone, underneath the green zone, which every time it's fallen beneath this, we have typically sharply come up, especially in the last bull run here, to meet Bitcoin when it was expanding, and then they kind of contracted together and then came up, and they, of course, created the bull run. Now, the actual indicator itself does say that if we find that the altcoin market is falling lower while Bitcoin is going up, that it's an indication that we're about to have a bull run or a massive altcoin rally. The red one represents pretty much sell whatever asset is up here. In the case of Bitcoin, of course, it's probably, time to sell, whereas altcoin's time to buy. Now, if we kind of compare this back to what it was like, in 2021, well, actually altcoins peaked up over here, which would have been a perfect time for you to sell, because that's when we had that first correction after, you guessed it, that sort of banana zone. Now, if you're kind of confused as to what's happening here, it is completely normal to see altcoins rise after Bitcoin takes a stronger stand. Over here, this is Bitcoin's chart, right? We can clearly see that Bitcoin, following a similar pattern to the altcoin market, is pretty much a move and a half ahead of the altcoin market. They play out exactly the same. Again, this is Bitcoin's price. This is the altcoin market cap here. And we're at the 0.25 level of support over here, where, of course, Bitcoin once was, pushing off these range lows, of course, where Bitcoin is now stuck at the range high. So I feel like that move is imminent, which also represented by this chart over here. So there is a lot of things that go into this as well. And as a macro scope, like looking out, it is good to zoom out when in doubt, guys. We can see here that every single cycle, I will try to zoom this out if I can, that we pretty much move sideways in a bull run for 500 days. We come down, and then we pretty much start the bull run again from the lows at 500 days. And this plays out every single cycle. And right now we've just hit on the halving that 500-day mark. Okay, so 500 days up, down a bit, 500 days from the lows to the halving, and then 500 days up again, okay, to the highs. So we're right at that middle point right now. And based on this sort of philosophy of diminishing returns and a longer cycle happening each time, we can, of course, expect Bitcoin to probably fall around $200,000 to $300,000, probably more on the optimistic side. But it's not just this guy or this particular chart that represents 300K possibly happening here. Plan B's chart as well says that the stock to flow is likely expecting Bitcoin to go around $300,000. Now, if you ask me, to be safe, you never want to aim for price predictions. We'll talk about this soon. You always want to aim lower so you can just make money in the market. People seem to think that they have to make 100x in a single cycle. Hang on, step back a second and be realistic with yourself. We can make the 100x over the next 6 years. Let's use this cycle to make some pretty substantial gains, even if it's a 5 or a 10x, and then invest more money into the lows in the next bear market. We know what's going to happen in the bear market. You just have to execute accordingly. That's literally it. Now, again, this isn't the stock to flow model we're looking at right here. This is the Bitcoin market cycle. it's right now indicating we are in a bull market, okay? Similar to back over here in 2021 and 2018, probably a little bit more akin to 2018. But again, what we typically find after this happens is nothing but red. Even if in the past we have found yellow dots on the monthly representing here, we do, of course, have that continuation to the upside. So it's going to happen, right? I think to disagree with that, I think actually you're not crazy. I think it's definitely, worth thinking about the worst side, being a bit pessimistic here. But I think you're crazy if you're someone who thinks the bull run is completely off the cards at this point in time, okay? Again, not financial advice. I'm just speaking from all the data we're looking at right now. And if you think that right now is a bad time to buy, I just want to remind you guys that every single cycle from the all-time high to the next cycle's low, it pretty much finds it as support, okay? So back over here in 2017, the low found the high as support, okay? Same over here with where we are right now. This is the current high. Well, it was the current high. At least we're a bit higher right now. And I expect in 2026, we likely will find this point to probably be a level of support. So again, right now, even if you bought Bitcoin, we're likely not going to see it fall too much lower than what it is in the next few years. Now, I could be wrong. Anything could happen, of course. There are a few global catalysts to still come out around this time. But I still think, in the grand scheme of things, it's crazy to think that now is a bad time to buy, okay? Again, zooming out, if you're someone who wants to hold for a long period of time, non-financial advice. So again, let me remind you that this isn't the point of the video. The point of the video isn't just to show you what's about to come. It is, in part, I guess. But also, I want to show you momentarily here what you need to be doing right now, okay? And I've made many videos on this in the last 2-3 weeks, but people just have to understand how fortunate we are to be in the market right now, okay? How fortunate you are to be in crypto, watching this video, understanding the market in general, and just having the opportunity to put money in and expect any sort of decent returns in 12 months. It's kind of crazy when we compare it to traditional finance, right? Let's relax our brain for a second and get back to the fun in just a second. But I wanted to introduce you guys to an unreleased and super interesting altcoin looking to penetrate the DeFi space called Vault Finance. Vault Finance has sponsored this video because they're super pumped to tell you all about their interesting alternative to traditional DeFi protocols, and I wanted to also extend a huge thank you, as without them I just simply couldn't continue to bring high quality daily crypto content. So what is Vault Finance? Well, it's a DeFi protocol looking to address the shortcomings of existing alternatives by ensuring yield APY can be set in stone and sustainable as well as secure. You see, most DeFi projects in crypto claim to offer high yields, but they often come into an issue called the flywheel of death, which is where their rewards are so high they can't sustain themselves for long and therefore fail long before they've gained product market fit. Vault Finance is offering a method to sustainable high APYs, which honestly sounds amazing. But what's their solution, you're asking? Well, they're calling it their Vault system. First, they'll implement a similar system to other DeFi protocols by taxing sell transactions to fund their treasury and reward their stakers, which will be their first Vault. Next, they plan to incorporate yield-generating products into the protocol portfolio, increasing the free flow of income via CoinW Ventures, which is their second Vault and also is the underlying company that has helped build Vault Finance as a project. The third and final Vault will create income via the acquisition of other protocol tokens outside of this CoinW ecosystem, which will be governed by the newly created DAO. Now, the team is stacked as well with the likes of Matthias Mazza, a former professional tennis player and a Web2 marketing titan. He's actually built and ran and sold several advertising and marketing agencies and businesses, generating over $200 million in revenue for his companies, and currently allocates most of his time advising teams and CEOs, CMOs, and other executives. Now, as you might imagine, Matthias alone gives me a lot of confidence in Vault Finance due to the fact that most of a project's success has got to do with its marketing. And just remember as well that Matthias will be creating other projects via the underlying company that has built Vault Finance, that of course being CoinW Ventures. So what do you guys think overall? I'll let you decide yourself by using the links down below to dig a little bit deeper into this new DeFi altcoin, so don't forget to do your own research. So some catalysts of this bull run to help kick us off, and really perpetuate the growth we're seeing right now is the likes of the election. Now, keep in mind, the election has to move one way, I believe. I'm not going to get into politics here. I definitely want to stray away from that. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. We're all friends, ideally. But in this case, what we're seeing so far, it would be beneficial for a Republican candidate to win the US election because, well, looking at Donald Trump right now, who really knows what's going to happen? But of course, if he wins, he's been using crypto as sort of like a wild card to get a whole heap of voters on board. And if he goes ahead and actually, it lives up to what he's saying, then this could be a very, very good thing for crypto later on this year, which I believe will give us an extra push. This is, of course, if everything sort of fizzles out in terms of what's happening right now. Now, of course, the Bitcoin ETFs, about $14 billion of net inflow since launch, which is very good. Again, as the bull run kicks off, we're not looking at this as the be-all and end-all. I don't own Bitcoin. I think a lot of you guys probably dabble a little bit in Bitcoin, but it's not your main positions in crypto. Chances are probably brings your average multiples down, or you're holding it for the long term. So what we're looking at here is there's these ETFs being an indication of interest, okay? This is interest in the market, which is why I'm very happy about the Ethereum ETFs, okay? So the Ethereum ETFs are, of course, going to come sometime this year. This is definitely another catalyst. This is another catalyst as well, being a wild card specifically for this cycle. But these Ethereum ETFs won't be as, large as the Bitcoin ones. About 20% is speculated to be the size of the Ethereum ETF market versus the Bitcoin market. But still, again, it's just extra demand. It's extra interest. It's a gateway for many different companies and individuals. And also, we might have a few different jurisdictions promote or create their own ETFs, all right? Bitcoin and Ethereum likely to be the two main ones in this case, which is going to be a very, very good sign for the altcoin market as well. So a lot of these catalysts still to come. Plus, there's also the whole, discussion around possibly rates decreasing over in the US as well, seeing how things go. I mean, there's many, many, many things we can talk about here, but I kind of wanted to spend the rest of this time quickly and just explain to you what I think you need to be very well aware of right now. Let's start with the don'ts, okay? Number one is don't be greedy. It is going to be very easy for you to see all this life-changing money in front of you, and even if that means $10,000, $20,000 for someone like that can easily print, $100 into a few $1,000s, that is life-changing money for a lot of us. That's months of work. So you have to understand, when you see it in front of you, do not let that human animalistic brain kick in and think to yourself, oh, nice, shiny, I'm going to let it keep growing and get bigger and bigger and bigger. No, take it out if you have achieved your goals. That's why we always start with our goals on this channel, because everything else stems from that. Number two, don't think there's not going to be any bad news that will come up in the future, pulling the market down temporarily. Now, it could pull it down temporarily. It could send us into an early bear market. Who knows? That's why we always come back to the same point. If you have your goals and you set individual sell levels, right, based on an exit plan, you will be able to execute on those levels once they are hit. Don't be silly. Don't try to do that yourself. Set those sell orders up automatically via spot. Very simple to do on any exchange you think is reputable, and call it a day. Not straight away. Definitely do it towards the end of the bull, or further into the bull market. You don't want to be on centralized exchanges if you can help it. But you kind of don't want to wake up one morning and see a wick and then it's come back down and you've missed your chance, okay? Speaking about exit tracking as well, I've created this exit tracker for you all. I mean, this literally will save you hundreds of hours, especially if you are new to crypto. And I've got videos explaining how it works in the private community. And that is where you can access it in the private community. And you can go through here and actually work out your sell levels, right? You can punch it all in here. Like I've done with my own portfolio, you can see I've added these sell levels, the percentages. I can see a nice graph on the side, how much money I make, how much money I need to make for each of my altcoins. So it's as simple as that. Then you just go to something like Binance or whatever exchange you trust and plug this in, and Bob's your uncle. But you must have an exit plan. I'm telling you right now, copy mine, use my sheet. I don't care. For your own sake, please have one. And lastly, I've been pushing this next one quite a bit here, and that is to make sure you're selling when the market is liquid. So this comes back to having that exit plan sheet I just showed you, because ultimately you're not going to really have any good idea of when to actually sell if you're just trying to wing it based on your own gut feelings, especially if you're not someone who's using data or experienced, okay? So something like this best, I guess, exemplifies what I'm trying to say here. This is Hedera HBAR's price, and this is from the current price over here. This green zone is where you can basically sell and likely have a good chance of being in a liquid market, which means you're going to have someone likely buying your tokens when you're trying to sell. Now, when you get towards the gray and red zones, and we've made many videos on this as to the reasons why these are here, price prediction level, This is your max letter sell level, like the level in which you can realistically actually get out of a project. And the gray zone is like a possible danger zone, but you don't really want to be there if you can help it. And so like this marker over here indicates where I'm selling my HBAR tokens, right? 55 cents. And the reason I'm selling my HBAR at 55 cents on average is because it's well within the green zone. If your altcoin, for example, right, like on this sheet here, is, let's just say, Solana, okay? And Solana, you're looking to, get the max 5x out of the project, right? You're someone who's going, okay, well, a lot of people say that, Solana can 5x from here. Well, hey, maybe you can. But guess what? You're in the red zone, probably even maybe at best the gray zone, but you're definitely probably in the red zone in this situation with Solana. So what you want to do is look for a 3x, right? Actually sell in the green zone where there's a liquid market. If you try to time the top on these price predictions, guys, you're going to get yourself wrecked. And I know from experience, it's as simple as that. It's funny because people think I have an ulterior motive when I say this stuff. I mean, I really don't know what I also have to say here. I mean, that's literally it. I'm just trying to say this to help everyone out. Like, that's literally it, okay? For example, like with Near Protocol. Yeah, Near Protocol could get a 15x. Absolutely from this price. That's a price prediction, sure. But realistically, look for an 8x or less, okay? That's going to be where you're in the green zone, okay? Where it's most liquid. ICP, 20x, look for a 10x, maybe a 12x, whatever. You do not want to push your luck, guys. Again, I have been there, alrighty? So I hope this video serves you well and provides you some information you didn't know before. That is my intention here. I'll make a video sort of on the same topic, but presenting more information. And I do this because until we move out of the situation we're in right now, okay? Until we break out of this zone we're in and we're starting to move up with altcoins, then I'll rest easy because I've made the videos on it and people have seen it and hopefully made some changes in a non-financial way because of it. But other than that, until that time comes, I'm going to keep pushing you to do better. Keep pushing you to make those changes that you need to do that you've been putting off. So thanks all. Talk to you soon. Bye.